Hi, my name is Lou Rogers, and I'm the Training Director for Leadership Development here at South Carolina Department of Social Services. And I'll be reading Stay Away from the Junkyard by Tricia Tuso. Theodora was arriving in the small town of Jasper, Texas for her first summer at Aunt Maisel's. The train dropped her off right in front of her aunt's house. Aunt Maisel's housekeeper, Mrs. Percy, greeted Theo. "I expect you'll keep your room tidy, wipe your feet before entering the house, and by all means, stay away from the junkyard. That odd-looking old man, Crampton, lives there with a pig he calls Clarissa. He's clearly mad." Now, said Aunt Maisel, "he's still a newcomer. Nobody really knows him. And nobody's going to," muttered Mrs. Percy as she left the room. The next morning, Theo set out for the vast, unexplored land beyond. Sure she'd discover a couple of Indian hideouts, at least one Spanish treasure, and maybe even a cow or two. Her first stop was Mud Dugan's General Store for a root beer. "How about that?" said Mud Dugan. "So you're Miss Maisel's niece. You have yourself a good time here in our proud town. Only stay away from the junkyard. The rumor is old man Crampton has no teeth, so he swallows kids whole." Lured into Miss Betty Ann's bakery by the delicious aroma, Theo bought an oatmeal cookie. "Mind you," Miss Betty Ann warned, "don't set foot near that old junkyard. I hear the place is booby-trapped with holes so deep you could fall all the way to China." After playing a while with the kids in town, Theo decided to go off on her own, so she headed north to a nearby hill. Over the hill, Theo came to a stumbling halt. Before her was the most breathtaking sight. A mountain of glistening objects towered above her. Objects of every shape and size and color, one on top of another. She gasped, "Maybe this is the Spanish treasure." Rummaging through, Theo found an old trumpet, a lampshade, a chandelier. She squealed with delight. Suddenly the pile began to move. Theo squealed even louder as out crawled the plumpest pig ever. "Oink," announced the pig. "What are you doing, little girl?" came a man's voice from behind. "Clarissa, you all right?" Clarissa. This was old man Crampton, Theo realized. She was standing in the middle of the Jasper, Texas junkyard. Old man Crampton stared at Theo. My, he said softly. "No one's been near here since I moved in 6 months ago." "I was just exploring, sir," Theo said. "I found this pile of, well, we were just having fun." "I see," said old man Crampton. "Well, go on and enjoy yourself. By the way, what's your name?" "Theo, sir." "Well, mine's not sir, it's Otis," he smiled. Theo was shocked. Was this the man who swallowed kids whole? She summoned her courage and asked, "Why do you live here?" Otis pointed to the pile of junk. "Because these are the tools of my trade." He winked and walked away. Theo set to work. She made a chariot for Clarissa and placed a crown on her head. For herself, she found a helmet and a magic cape. Most of the afternoon had passed when Theo waved goodbye to Otis and Clarissa. When she got to town, Theo stopped at the bakery to tell Miss Betty Ann about Otis. But no sooner had she opened the door than Miss Betty Ann cried, "What a sight you are! Don't even think about coming in here. Why, you'll scare all my customers away." Mud Dugan received Theo the same way. "Get on home and fix yourself up. That's no way for a young lady to dress." Fortunately, Aunt Maisel was there. She studied Theo for a moment, then said, "I think it's quite clever, really. Why should a saucepan have only one purpose?" Back at home, Aunt Maisel listened while Theo told her about the enchanted kingdom she'd discovered and the friends she'd made. "Well," said Aunt Maisel, "maybe people would like Otis Crampton, but I doubt they'll get close enough to find out." Early the next morning, Theo returned to the junkyard. Otis was nowhere to be found. She walked through his open front door and made her way to a room where Otis was busy drawing. "Theo, come tell me what you think." I love it. What is it? An idea I've been working on for a sculpture. I'm going to build it right away. For you. Oh my, Theo said. And at that moment, she realized that this was her chance to prove the town wrong. After a couple of weeks of hard work, the sculpture was finished. It was time for Theo to make her move. With Otis's permission, she took Clarissa for a stroll through town. Just as Theo had expected, it was love at first sight with the kids. They all followed Clarissa home. Music and laughter from the junkyard were heard across the town. "What's going on over there?" cried Mayor Mosley. "We must put a stop to it, whatever it is." Everyone agreed. When the people of Jasper, Texas reached the top of the North Hill, they witnessed something extraordinary below. The old junkyard had become a work of art, a world of magic and wonder. Following Aunt Maisel, everyone went down to get a closer look, not only at the junkyard, but finally at their new neighbor, Otis Crampton. Theo beamed at the crowd and waved at Miss Percy. The end.